Some of the women simply fell in love and married their German beau. Welcome back to the Eye of the Storm, where we review the latest stories. Big thanks to Wang Lin. The story is by Snake Baker, another fantastic contributor to the Daily Stormer website. We're looking at the continuous population decline. Headline: Worst Korea. Over 60% of households predicted to be childless within 30 years. It's like the movie, what was it, Children of Men, where the youngest person in the world was 16, something ridiculous. Dystopian movie. What was the plot? In the year 2027, 18 years of total human infertility have led to war and global depression, pushing society to the brink of collapse as humanity faces extinction. That is what this is. So we have Me Too movement already accelerating the decline of human population. And who is at the forefront? Braless women, feminists using their sexuality to destroy humanity. What else is new? So it's good news for North Korea. They're just going to be able to walk in and take over a bunch of old people sitting in decrepit rooms with cats and harmless robots. Fair enough. Korea Times: Koreans are increasingly living alone or prefer having no children even if they get married. So less people are getting married and a lot of them prefer not to have children. This is crazy. If this trend continues, more than 6 out of 10 households nationwide will be childless by the year 2052. Data released also revealed that the number of single-person households is projected to reach nearly 10 million by that year, accounting for more than 40% of the total estimated 23.27 million households. The proportion of single-person households out of whole households nationwide is expected to rise from 34.1% to 41.3%. Now, I seem to recall the government has actually tried to do something about this. I mean, this story was from far earlier in the year, February 29th. Check this out. South Korea birth rate continues free fall collapse despite $270 billion in incentives. So, what this means is the government gave women money. Take $270 billion, have some children, please. And they said, no, fuck that. We'd rather have abortions, we'd rather have feminism. By Andrew Anglin, of course. Hey, retards, I already told you 6 million times, there is no way to incentivize women to have kids. We keep telling people that, but people refuse to listen. People think that women are sentient beings. They are not. Women are not sentient. If you define a human being, when you define a human being, it's not a woman that comes out of the definition. Just like when you describe a chicken, it's a cock, it's a cockerel. Or when you describe a peacock, it is the male. All living things are defined by the male. So if a human being is a male, not a woman, not a female. They are not normal. They exist only to destroy. So let's continue. The incentives are already there. They've been there this whole time. At this point in history, a reasonably fit teenage virgin can marry a multimillionaire and have his children and live fantastically for the rest of her life without working or ever worrying about anything. If a woman will not go for that very obvious and very well established natural incentive, why on earth would she give a shit about a tax cut? It's stupid. On its face, it's ridiculous and stupid. So, The Guardian: South Korea's demographic crisis has deepened with the release of data showing its birth rate, already the world's lowest, fell to a new record low in 2023 despite billions of dollars in government schemes designed to persuade families to have more children. So this is for all you people who say, oh no, we just need incentives. No, women, now that you've given women the rights, you've given them knowledge, you've given them information, they're going to reject everything. You've given them rights. So, you came up with this strange thing called consent. So women now are killing all your babies. and are refusing to have any in the first place. It fell from 0.78 to 0.72, and this rate is well below the 2.1 children a country needs to maintain its population of 51 million, meaning that at this rate, in 50 years, the population will drop to maybe 40 million, maybe, who knows. Since 2018, South Korea has been the only member of the Economic Cooperation Development Organization to have a rate below 1. South Korean women gave birth for the first time at the age of 33.6. The average age for a woman to give birth is 33 years old. What is she doing from the age of 16? What are South Korean women doing? Watching K-pop? What are they doing? If the low fertility rate persists, the population of Asia's fifth biggest economy is projected to almost halve by the year 2100. That is insane. Since 2006, the government has invested more than 360 trillion won, which is roughly $270 billion in programs to encourage couples to have more children. This is not couples. This is not couples. This is wrong. To encourage women. The decision lies with women because there's something called consent. So a woman can consent to have a baby or kill a baby, including cash subsidies, babysitting services, and support for infertility treatment. So the government already knows that the women are infertile. All the excuses that they have, oh, I can't hire a babysitter, or I don't have any money, that's a lie. The government has given out $270 billion, and they said, no, fuck you, let's destroy the country, let's destroy the world together. The same way our father, Satan, wants us to do. Women exist to destroy. It is deliberate. This is what they like. This is their preference. And the key thing is consent. I keep telling you guys, I'll prove to you that consent is a myth, it's a feminist hoax. It doesn't exist. It's a gay contraption. And the purpose of gay is infertility. This is gay. No matter what the way you look at it, it is gay, because gay is about living your life without reproducing. That is what gay means. That's what feminism is. That's what consent is. Because if you look at countries with, let's say, less than stellar records on quote unquote female rights, they have high birth rates. Do you see? So there's an inverse relationship, an inverse proportion between having poor rights for women or a poor record on recognition of female rights and the amount of children you have. Because when women don't have rights, what do they have instead? Children. That's how that works. The infertility rate tracks the average number of births women will have in their lifetime. In New Zealand, along with many other countries in the world, has seen this number drop. Factors like education, participation in the workforce, access to contraception contribute to women having fewer children. Do you see? The first thing is education. I mean, Bill Gates talked about this, and you know Bill Gates, that's his job. His job now, instead of selling us Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, his job right now is to destroy the world by reducing its population. You saw he's the one pushing all the pokes and all the pricks and pokes, right? To make sure that you are infertile. But his foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, said that the number one strongest way to reduce population is to educate the girl child. So since you've been born, you've been hearing the phrase girl child education, girl child education. I know I have. And this is the purpose. This right here is the purpose. The purpose of girl child education is this: to drop your fertility. That is what girl child education is designed to do. That is what it's designed to do. That's its purpose. That is its purpose. So Dr. Wang Lin is going to cook. Watch. Here's the deal, bro. Let me just go ahead and explain this to every government that is trying to increase their birth rate. It's really, really simple. The only way to increase the birth rate is to disincentivize women from not having children. This is very easily justifiable morally because the continuation of the human species is clearly more important than women's sexual liberation. This is what happened. This is why the world is spiraling out of control. Elon Musk talks about this. Because our extinction is at hand. Feminism and all these other things are designed to destroy the world. That's what the purpose is. The only people who would argue otherwise are bad actors and women themselves. Of course, women should not have rights or opinions, else we will continue to face things like this. It's not about money. People think that money solves women's problem. No, it doesn't. Money is not a woman's problem. It's just not. All right. I use a lot of language about returning to Middle Ages norms where women were literally property, true, in a system called coverture. I need to find out what that means. Let's continue. It's really not hyperbole. I actually believe that. However, I understand that it's widely considered unrealistic. That's not true. It's not unrealistic. People say this, but what is happening with the Taliban? Taliban bans women tertiary education. I'll show you that it's not unrealistic. Let's see. Uyghur women forced marriage. I'll show you that it's not unrealistic. Let's go. Bring back coverture will be the ultimate way to disincentivize women from refusing to reproduce. The other ways to do this. Teach chastity, marriage, and motherhood. No, that's not true because I disagree with this. For the first time in my life, I'm disagreeing with Dr. Wang Lin. You can't teach it now. Why? Because Pandora's box is open. Pandora's box is open. They have eaten the fruit of the knowledge of feminism. They now know and believe that they kill your babies. They celebrate that every year now? What's that? They celebrate that every year. Okay. Let's just do it now. Look at this. Celebrations in Buenos Aires, Argentina, after Senate votes to legalize abortion up to the 14th week. 14th week is what? It's almost that's a 3.5-month pregnancy. A historic moment in a Catholic country. A Catholic country is voting to legalize abortions. Up until now, abortions were only permitted in cases of rape. Why should you even abort a baby in case of rape? A rape child can become a president. So I think
resulta aprobado con 38 votos afirmativos y 29 negativos y una abstención. Resulta aprobado.
Look at this. What is an abortion? Abortion is killing the baby. Look at all these women. Look at all of these women. Look at this. It's almost a riot. Justicia social. What is justice? This is right in the middle of COVID. It's supposed to be a pandemic. But the women came out to celebrate their baby. Look at them. So please, Dr. Wang, I think you're wrong on that. You can't teach these women chastity, marriage, and motherhood in school. You can't teach them that now. You cannot. So let's see what he says. So, having classes teaching girls with their mother is the highest calling of a woman, and the women who have sex before marriage are naturally considered to be of very low value by high value men. This is already turned into a red pill talking point, and I think that's wrong. We know what low value is, we know what high value is, we don't need to use the terms, right? And high value just means you're in the top 20% of men. That's not who gets to reproduce. Everybody should get to reproduce. The other side of this is to teach men that if they work hard and have money in their 30s, they will marry a teenage girl. I don't think men, should wait until their 30s. You only wait until you're 30 to marry a teenage girl because of the existing paradigms of the legal system that incentivize women to break marriages and kill babies and things like this. But in my ideal society, a Taliban society, you ban women. Look at this. Like, it's so easy. Erases women by justifying the violence against them. This is what you need. This is what you need to increase your birth rate. This is what you need. Do you think these women can go out celebrating abortions? Do you think they can do that? They can't. The Taliban have been enforcing laws that enhance the people's freedoms and human rights, especially those of women and girls. You have a new Vice and Virtue law goes further. Among the best laws by this fundamentalist group, whatever. And it says, the new law seeks to completely silence women in public. Now, if you pass this type of law in America, you're like, oh, it's not possible. You can't pass this kind of law in America, or it's not possible. But it is possible because they did it. That's my point. That's my point with what he was saying here, where he says, however, I understand that it's unrealistic and it's therefore not taken seriously. It's like, no, it's possible because it's been done. The edict restricts most of women's political, civil, and human rights guaranteed under international law. International law, please, international law has no bearing on national law. Let's get it right. And if women resist, it orders punishment to correct them. So it's not impossible. It's not a lie. Ron PS is about just so this is the same thing. I think this doesn't work. Make it much more harder for women to complete college admissions. They ban women from going to school. They're like, dude, we're done. No more college for you. We're done. So so make it much harder for women to compete. Compete. Since when do women compete with men? This is the problem. But if you take a global view about it and you just pick up something as simple as this, and it says right now the standardized testing system is entirely skewed towards benefiting women. Change that, skew it towards men. Men are better workers anyway. Men will always be better workers whether the tests are in favor of women or not. That much is clear. Women are crashing out over their $100,000 English courses in majoring in lesbian literature. But here, the Taliban, this is 2022. It's not long ago. This is not ancient history. This is recent times. The Taliban suspend university education for women in Afghanistan. Simple. No more tertiary education. Go home and have babies. Thank you. The Taliban government has suspended university education for all female students in Afghanistan. Simple. They confirmed the suspension to CNN on Tuesday. They said, nah, no more university for you guys. Girls were barred from returning to secondary schools in March, after the Taliban ordered the school for girls to shut just hours after they were due to reopen. It's like, what do you need to learn in school that your mother can't teach you at home as a woman? Learn to cook, learn to clean the house, learn to mend a dress, learn to have sex with your husband, learn to have a baby, learn to raise your baby, learn to raise your children's babies. You're good. What do you need to learn calculus for? Shameful decision, blah blah blah. I say they come with this women and girls thing. No, it's for the greater good of the world. Now, the funny thing, we're not even getting the comments from the Taliban, because all this is all of them are speaking against the Taliban. But I will speak in favor of the Taliban. They are absolutely right, because the world is falling apart. Birth rate continues free fall. This is how you stop it. You stop it by doing this. For God's sake, we just saw that the average age is 33.6. A woman starts being able to give birth from the age of 15. What is she doing for 18 years? What is she doing? Between the ages of 18 and 33, what is a woman doing? Let me show you what she's doing. This is what she's doing. She's protesting to get the ability to kill babies, to kill babies legalized. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. That's what women are doing instead of raising children. And now the birth rate is what? 0.72. The principle of white Sharia, which is kind of what got me attracted to the Daily Stormer in the first place. White Sharia. White Sharia is in the Bible. White Sharia is encapsulated in the book of Numbers, chapter 31, verse 18. This is what the Bible says. But all the women children, that is, women are children, no matter what age they are. So a woman, whether she's 20, 12, or 25, or 15, or 30, or 13, she is a child. There is no difference between a 30-year-old woman and a 15-year-old child. They are both women. That's the point. This is in the Bible. Numbers chapter 31, verse 18. That have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And kill every woman that is not a virgin. I don't know how you find out, but you do. So women who are not virgins are to be killed. It's in the Bible. The point is that these women who are having their children on average by the age of 33, you can't tell me that they're virgins having their children at 33. You can't be a virgin in South Korea by 33. So you are doing something, and what you're doing is wrong. So let's see, remove all welfare for unmarried women. I guess we need to, this needs more explanation. I think it's too short. Remove affirmative action, make all workplaces meritocratic. Okay, that makes sense. Promote meritocracy in every way possible. Consider passing laws making it illegal for companies to hire less qualified, less capable candidates based on political reasons. This is a simple solution. Once you do this, and once you do this, then the merit is already there. You don't have affirmative action problems anymore. The women are gone. Reintroduce obscenity laws, true, yes. Ban pornography, of course. Ban hypersexualization, of course. Women learn from this and they act on. Women don't learn. Women do not learn, Mr. Anglin. Women don't learn. You know this better than I. Women do not learn. It is not possible for a woman to learn. This is what women respond to. Women respond to external stimuli. If you notice what happened with the French collaborator girls of the German occupied Europe. Yes, so this is a French girl wearing it. This is women. The Germans invaded France, and what did the women do? They turned themselves over to the conqueror. That is what this is. It's very simple. There's no meritocracy. There's no affirmative action. Just show of force. That is what women respond to. Women respond to violence. They respond to real threat, not rhetoric. This is quite simple. She wore the uniform immediately, and she presented herself as a sexual avenue. That's what happens. So I don't know how Mr. Anglin can know all this and still say things like women learn. They don't learn nothing. They're women. Everyone in the Wehrmacht knew that Paris was the place to be. The official German propaganda is often advertised as lures. So another collaborator somewhere in France found on a German prisoner of war. Essentially, and this is no exaggeration, Paris almost became synonymous with a giant cat house in the Wehrmacht. To some extent, that reputation remains to this day in certain quarters. Some of the women simply fell in love and married their German beau. For God's sake. They invaded your country, killed your men, took over your country, and you fall in love with the man who takes over. That is the point. That's how you have all these English women converting to Islam. It's the same principle. Women have never been loyal. They've never been. They're only loyal to the conqueror. They're only loyal to the conqueror. It's happening so much that it's being studied in 2013. But this is no different from 1943. It's the same thing. 1940, whatever. They all converted to Islam. Why? Islam gives no quarter to women. A man's word is law. This is what women respond to. That's why Islam is growing, because women in general are seeing that there is a force being shown, and that force, they are attracted to that force. Women are attracted to force, they're attracted to use of force. That is why you have this. So people are forgetting how to learn lessons, like women. Look at this beautiful white rose converting to Islam. Why? Because Islam gives no quarter. That's the point. They may come out and say, oh, Islam is feminist, or the Prophet Muhammad was a feminist. We all know that's a lie. The whole world knows that's a lie. The whole world knows that there's no equality for women in Islam, because Islam recognizes the difference between the genders. So how come? There's no difference between this woman, the French woman wearing the German uniform, and this woman wearing the hijab. There is no difference. They are both women. They're both sleeping with the enemy. And most importantly, they respond to show of force. That's what they do. Maybe, half of this is wrong, because we have the answers right here. We have the answers. They said Taliban gave us the answer a long time ago. These solutions are easy and they are possible, in theory, even within the context of modern democracies. These things will happen in modern democracies, of course. Okay? Government will simply continue to whine about the better to waste money on stupid programs. Regardless, the solutions are simple and obvious, just like solutions to virtually every other problem. The reason that problems don't get solved is that we live in a system designed to prevent problems from being solved. Okay? But as I said, where's the incentive? Where is it? Run PSAs. That has never even worked. America had a birth rate in the 50s of more than 4.1, and they didn't run PSAs on motherhood. They didn't need to run PSAs on motherhood. This is an advert for ties by Van Housen. Yeah, you call it sexism, but who made this ad? Was it a woman who made this ad? No, it was a man. Look at it. For men only. Brand new man talking power packed patterns that tell her it's a man's world and make her so happy it is. And man, how that Van Housen showmanship makes the fine fabrics hold their shape. And for Christmas, here's the Christmas tie that's really different, $2. This is an advert for a tie in America. And we're here today talking about remove affirmative action, make it harder for women to get into college. Just fucking ban them from college. Kick them out. The first thing you do is ban abortions and ban pornography. That's it. Once you ban those two things, everything else, and of course you ban, this can be done. You can do this. Anyone can do this. It's just a decision. That's what I always say. So I guess let's finish the original story. 4B movement. I'm not interested in this because I think this is how they got infiltration, my guy. We all know that women instigate these things. There's no doubt about that. So if a man reacts, what's that? These women are, as I said, women are designed to destroy. That is what they're here for. So that is their purpose. Their purpose is to destroy. Where is it? We have this. This is the destruction of the French people. This is the destruction of the British people. You see British women marrying Indian men, marrying Pakistani men, converting to Islam. There's no difference. Once you see this and you see that, The story is simple. It's a show of force. It's the only thing that women respond to is a show of force. That is the simple story here. So you can see that women don't even respond to money. You can buy a woman everything. What was that monkey? The Jew, Adrian Brody, bought a castle. Yes, he bought a castle for his wife Elsa, and she still left him. So your 270 billion doesn't matter. This is what matters. A show of force. This is what matters. A show of force. A show of force is what matters. So I think the plans and the programs, I think they're wrong. You don't need to run any PSAs. You just need to decriminalize domestic violence. As crazy as that sounds, that's actually the solution, because that is how you suppress people. That is not suppress, but that's how you discipline people. What the problem is a lack of discipline. There's a reason women don't speak. I'll show you why women don't speak. The book of Judges. I covered this elsewhere. I was a producer for a different show, but I believe I can use this information. So if you remember the story of Samson, Samson is very popular with Delilah, who asked him to reveal his secret to his insane strength. So Samson was very, very strong, and his birth was prophesied, and his parents were given instructions not to cut his hair. So that's where his strength lay, right? And then he met his end when a woman pestered him to reveal his secret, and he did, and that's how he perished, right? But before he met Delilah, he got married to a woman. So he said that he will tell her people a riddle, and if they can give him an answer, he will. And they said, coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we will burn you and your father's household to death. Did you invite us here to steal our property? What is this? What is this? This is a show of force. This is the wife of Samson responding to a show of force. Verse 16. Then his wife threw herself upon him, sobbing, "You hate me. You don't really love me. You've given my people a riddle and you haven't told me the answer. I haven't explained it to my father or mother," Samson said. "So why should I explain it to you?" Do you see? This is what the red pill will call masculine frame, right? And again, the point when I give you Bible stories, to understand the principles. So this is what happens. She cried the whole 7 days of the feast. So she cried whenever she was with him and kept it up for the rest of the celebration. At last, on the 7th day, he told her the answer because she was tormenting him with her nagging. So that happened, right? She pressed him for 7 days. How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times. You've not told me where your strength lies. And she pressed him hard with her words. With her words day after day, and urged him. His soul was vexed unto death. His soul was vexed unto death. That is, women, they vex you unto death. They vex you just by her words. She's not beating you, she's not slapping you, she's not touching you. Just her talking to you. A woman simply talking to a man, she is trying to kill him. She is trying to kill you. That is what a woman does by talking to you. And it came to pass, she pressed him daily with her words and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death. Meaning that Samson at this stage, he felt like dying simply from a woman talking to him. Brothers, this is all men when women are talking to you. You'd rather just give in like he did. You'd rather just give in and die. Because that's what happened here. Then he told her all his heart and said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she knew that this time, after I have vexed his soul, I now know that truly he's not lying to me like he lied before. He's not lying to me like he lied before. She went and called them and said, come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart. Do not give your heart to a woman. Do not allow a woman to talk to you, because she will use it against you. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head, and she began to afflict him. She was the one who started to afflict him. So they gouged out his eyes, and I think you get the point. So the idea of talking to women, telling them, come, let's give you 230 billion. No, they don't care about your 30 billion. They'd rather just go and do other things. Through some of the things that Dr. Wang Lin talked about, coverture. Coverture is a doctrine which means that a married woman's legal existence was considered to be merged with that of her husband. Or married, she had no independent legal existence of her own, keeping with society's expectation that her husband was to provide for her and protect her. Under coverture, a woman became a femme couvert, whose legal rights and obligations were mostly subsumed by those of her husband. And a married woman, or femme sole, whatever, retained the right to own property and make contracts in her own name. Coverture was well established in the common law for several centuries and was inherited by many other common law jurisdictions. After the rise of the women's rights movement in the mid-19th century, coverture was increasingly criticized as oppressive, hindering women from existing ordinary popular rights, entering professions. For God's sake, why then are you married? If you are married, you are femme couvert, and you are covered by your husband. Why do you want to be married and be a femme sole at the same time? This is what happens when you listen to women. You suffer. That's in the Bible. Genesis 3:15. And that's the problem. You read the Bible. Most people read the Bible. You grew up reading the Bible, and then you don't listen to what the Bible says. To Adam, he said, because you listened to your wife, you listened to a woman, through curses the ground because of you, through painful toil, blah, blah, blah. You listened to her. That is what happened here. You listened to women, and therefore your population is dying. They teach contraception to children at the age of 15. They're already teaching your daughters from the age of 15, maybe even less, how to get the pill, how to use a condom, everything to prevent pregnancy, because they're supposed to go to school and what was it, 33 point, where is it, 33, yeah, you need to have your babies by 33. Yes, the Pandora's box has been opened. You can't close it now. It is already happening. They have done it. They've banned women from universities. Simple. We've banned women from public spaces. Remember what the Bible says. You listen to a woman, you suffer. Barred women from education beyond primary school. The Taliban have barred women and girls' education from beyond primary school. Primary sixth grade. is where they stop. I keep telling people, it is possible. You can do it. It's just a decision. And you can't say it's not an education. If you get a primary six education, in some countries you can be president with a primary six education. So let's not even get that straight. The reason why they are unhappy with it is because they are preventing you from getting education within your prime childbearing years. As I explained, after sixth grade, you're 13, 14, 15. That is when you start being able to have children. That's the point. They want you to continue your education beyond that stage so that you don't have children. We saw that with the Guardian. What's with the Guardian people? Women's education. Education doesn't, I mean, if education is education, why are they complaining about a sixth grade education? Because for the purpose of girl child, they are trying to keep your children in school as long as possible so that they have less children. Bill Gates already said that. So, anyways, we don't care about people crying about it. So, we got women and forced marriages. You can force women to get married. It's just force. It's just a matter of force. Uyghurs report disturbing stories of the relatives in Xinjiang being forced to marry Han Chinese, part of Beijing's strategy for diluting Uyghur heritage. It is possible. 2022. This is not 1950s. It is possible. You can do it. It's just a choice. There have been several attempts made by the Communist Party to promote inter-ethnic marriage over the years, but more recently, there has been a worrying trend that has seen over 1 million Chinese government officials being sent to live with Uyghur women or those who don't have husbands. Many of these women are being blackmailed, sexually assaulted, coerced into marriage due to concerns that the military may be harmed. Whatever. Who cares? In addition, many Uyghur women have been forced into these marriages through incentivized control by the Chinese Communist Party. The heartbreaking reality is that these women are being stripped of any agency or authority to make their decision about whom they want to marry. If they refuse the orders of the Chinese Communist Party, they could face dire harm imposed on them and their loved ones. One Uyghur woman, Aisha, told me that her cousin was threatened with imprisonment if she did not marry a Han Chinese man. She said that her cousin pleaded with officials that she was against the marriage, but Chinese officials threatened to harm her elderly parents and throw them into internment camps. Do you see? You see this? This is a French woman who is said to have collaborated with the Germans, and she faces the rightful retribution. Do you get the point? So horizontal collaboration, that's funny. With the enemy. And they were targeted by vigilantes, and they were publicly humiliated. Their heads were shaved, stripped half naked, smeared with tar, paraded through town, stone kicked, beaten, spat upon, and sometimes even killed. Do you see? Do you see? This is what works. This is what works. You need to take action, not talk. Talking is a woman's domain. The words of a woman destroy your soul. We saw that with Samson. So again, this is what happens when women are allowed to function. This is what they naturally do. They sleep with their enemies. Same thing here. So the idea that Western women don't kneel is not true. We have right here with Western woman kneeling. So it's not an inconceivable idea for a woman to kneel down to present food to her husband. It's not. So people think it's some kind of African mystical tradition. No, this is normal. The subservience and the superiority of men over women is natural. It's inborn. We all know it. Because she knows that if this man so desires, he can take the life that he has given her. So Samson's soul was vexed unto death. He wanted to tell her the truth even though he should not. He preferred to die than for her to continue nagging him. That's what the words of a woman does. So thank you guys for watching. Just understand these few points. One, you don't need talking points. We saw the Taliban, we saw the Chinese. It is possible to do it. You don't need to do all these things. You just need a show of force. After all, who will resist the force being shown? It's women. If all men sat down and said, look, We're tired of being oppressed. Like no more simps, right? We're tired of being oppressed by the matriarchy, because there is a matriarchy. If we go around and we forcefully enact Numbers chapter 31, right? All the weak men are gone, let's say. And we've moved from Numbers 31:17 to Numbers 31:18. Who is going to stop us? If you go and you show a woman the business, she's going to call the police. The police is already a man. There is nothing she can do. Therefore, you have the weaker situation where you can just give, like all incels they get someone. All incels get someone. They can't go to an abortion clinic because there are no more female doctors. Get them all out. Men can physically go and take back all institutions. Men can physically say, look, oh, you're a woman voting, we will tear your vote. Your vote doesn't count. Men can sit down and decide to do these things, but men don't, because we listen to women. And that is why we are suffering. Our souls are being destroyed. Some of us are even turning into women. So that is what happens. Once you push them out of the schools, the only place they can go is into their father's house. There's a little bit of control. They're not flying around getting shot upon by camels or whatever. The father has control. She's released to her husband. She continues to bear children. And the population of the world doesn't collapse. So we don't need this 6-point plan, 7-point plan. It's just take action, because that's what women respond to. Women respond to action, not words. So thank you all so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. I promise I'll get around to making the video about consent. I'm gathering all the materials because A, I don't want it to be too long. This video is a little bit long already. And B, I want to have all my information. I don't want to miss anything out. So look forward to the stream. Look forward to that particular stream, that particular video. I promise you, I will prove once and for all, one, that consent is a legal hoax that has not existed for up to 200 years. And two, it is because it's a hoax, because it's a legal fiction, it's not something that exists outside the courtroom. And I'll show you how. It's very, very simple and very, very easy. Thank you so much. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.
After centuries of sleep, of nothingness, I have returned. Something comes back to me. I was great once. Feared. Yes. Once I was strong. Powerful beyond measure, beyond imagining. So weak now, must find blood.
The best guy at synthesizing this stuff, because he's just been hitting these things out of the park.